can you please explain the concept of some verses being abrogated by others? Does that mean that Allah made mistakes in the Qur'an?
The concept of abrogation or naskh is something that the Qur'an explicitly affirms. Allah says in the Qur'an, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا نَأْتِ بِخَيْرٍ مِنْهَا أَوْ مِثْلِهَا. Whenever we abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten or cause it to be neglected or moved on, we bring something better than it, or at least equivalent to it. Verily, Allah is capable of all things. So, abrogation is a unique phenomenon that deals with the legal laws of Islam, not the theology of Islam. No theology has ever been abrogated. But when Islam came down, 23 years went by, and the people that were idolaters, that were rampantly drinking, womanizing, gambling, they could not reform overnight. As a society, they could not reform overnight. So what did Allah do? Allah Azza wa Jal revealed laws gradually. So only some laws were abrogated. No theology has ever been abrogated. So of those laws, that initially Allah said the divorced lady, let her wait for 1 year before she remarries. Why? Because the Arabs had a custom of many years and she would do this and that. So Allah made it easy for her that she stays for 1 year. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed, now the divorced lady should say 4 months and 10 days. Okay, these are both in the Qur'an. 1 year and 4 months and 10 days. So slowly but surely to make things easy for them. The most famous example is that of drinking wine. That as you all know, Islam prohibits drinking wine. But guess what? For 15, 16 years, drinking wine was allowed. How did Allah prohibit it? So the first thing He says is that in wine there's, the first thing Allah says is that don't come to salah when you're drunk. Don't come to salah when you're drunk, which means you cannot drink large quantities of wine throughout the day. So Allah Azza wa Jal basically limits the time. Then Allah reveals another verse, then another verse, then finally, and then Allah reveals in Surah Baqarah, by the way, another verse that they ask you about wine. Say there is some good in wine, but much harm, and the harm is more than the good. So there's still no haram. It's simply Allah is saying, look, there's some good in wine. Wine does have some benefits. Ask any wine drinker who was a non-Muslim, and I hope inshallah all of you Muslims have never drunk wine, but ask any non-Muslim who used to drink wine. So there is some benefit. It makes them feel whatever or taste good, whatever. So there's some good. But Allah says the harm is more than the good. Then Allah revealed the final verse, which is Surah Ma'idah. Surah Ma'idah came down like 6th year, 7th year of the Hijrah, whereas Surah Baqarah came down 2nd year of the Hijrah. So the last verse revealed, Allah says that wine and gambling, all types of intoxication, these are instruments of shaitan to cause you to fight, to cause you to waste time, to turn you away from the spirituality of God, of Allah. So avoid all of them if you want success. So the final verse that came down was avoid wine. So this is a type of abrogation. So if you understand this graduality, it's very easy. That in the beginning, Allah Azza wa Jalla took them 1 step, then 2, then 3, until finally it was prohibited. So to summarize, there is no abrogation in theology. Certain laws to make it easy for the people were revealed, and then those laws were then abrogated to make it the final sharia that we are now familiar with. And Allah knows best.